What's up, guys? We are back on another episode of Pound for Pound. I'm the Nigerian Nightmare, Kamaru Usman.
Henry Cejudo, a.k.a. Triple C.
A Shadowline production.
And Henry, such a big week, but before we get into UFC 317 preview, we want to take a moment to thank our sponsor, Lucy, for sponsoring this episode.
That's right, man. Yeah, we want to give a big shout out to Lucy for supporting the show. We're here in Las Vegas this week for a bunch of great in-person interviews, and Lucy is helping us make it possible. So if you're enjoying the show, you've got Lucy to thank for that.
Now, if you don't know, Lucy makes modern nicotine products, pouches, gum, and specialty pouches called Lucy Breakers.
What's cool is they're not loaded with tobacco leaf or all that stuff you find in older products. It's just clean ingredients, multiple strengths from 4 milligrams, 8 milligrams, all the way up to 12 milligrams. It's all carefully crafted for a smooth experience and designed to be super discreet and easy to use.
All right, guys, now let's level up your nicotine routine with Lucy. Go to lucy.co/pound for pound. And don't forget to use the promo code pound for 20% off your first order. Lucy has a 30-day refund policy if you change your mind. Again, that's lucy.co. And don't forget to use the promo code pound for 20% off your first order. And here comes the fine print. Lucy's products are only for adults of legal age, and every order is age verified. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical. Now let's get into our preview. All right, Henry, UFC 317 going down this weekend. First of all, also shout out to Lucy for coming on board and helping us make this happen. But Henry, looking at this whole card, let's get into that prelim card. There's a couple fights for me that I think personally jumps out at me. Obviously, one is your girl Tracy Cortez making her return since that fight with my former teammate Rose Namajunas.
Oh shit, farmer, huh?
All
right, let's get into it. You said it, shit.
Yeah. Rose, that's
know?
my sister. Rose is my girl forever. So, but yeah, since that fight, obviously a great fight for Tracy. Her stepping into that fight and really stepping up in competition and really kind of showing everybody like, hey, I could battle here in this. I mean, I know what I thought that fight would do for Tracy Cortez, but really we haven't seen her since then, and it's been a while.
Yeah, how long has it been? A year.
It's been a year. Typically... So you can't be taking breaks like that. Every fight is gonna feel like that first fight again. So I don't know, Henry. You give us a little bit of insight of what you think this is gonna be.
I will say this about Viviane Araújo. She did beat that Brazilian girl her last fight, and I wasn't expecting her to really come out and actually getting that victory, but she was able to really dog it out and eventually win that fight. I mean, she's a vet, bro. She's got, she's got 20, close to 20 fights, gonna be 20 fights this fight with Tracy. So, she's been in the game, super strong, very good striking. But I just feel like Tracy has something that these girls just don't have, and that's wrestling. Even though she wasn't able to really use that against Rose, because Rose's lateral movements really made it really complicated that style for Tracy. But I do believe that that's something that she's worked on and she's got better through. So sometimes when you take those L's, you learn from it. No. Other than Rose Namajunas, this is Tracy Cortez's next toughest fight that she's ever had. Viviane Araújo, she brings power, man. Mm-hmm. She is a scrappy and a strong girl. But I just feel like what Tracy has is something that a lot of these women do not have, with all due respect, is wrestling. And she's gonna bring it. This is where she's really good. This is what separates herself from the rest of the pack. And I think it's gonna be a clear decision victory for Tracy Cortez.
Really?
Viviane's 38.
That's how you feeling, huh? Yeah. Well, I kind of disagree with you, Henry, on that. I don't think it's as clear cut of a decision victory as you're thinking. Obviously, you're gonna ride with the home team. You're biased like that. But
Not always.
I'm not trying to call you out.
Besides the scenes, you don't know where I'm putting my money.
But let's be honest. Tracy struggled a bit with Rose Namajunas' movement. Vivi Araujo, I would say, even moves a little bit more sometimes because she's always bouncing in, out. Sometimes it's a little too much to where she kind of puts herself in bad position, but she's always bouncing in, out. She does crack. She can come in there. She can really put that power on you. And so I think that's something that Tracy's going to have to get used to. And yeah, we struggled with the rest the last time. Vivi Araujo, she can grapple. She's really good grappler. You know, she can get up. She can wrestle too. So I don't think it's going to be just as easy to just kind of get her down and control her down there. I think she's going to be moving a lot. And I think the biggest factor is what we saw from Tracy Cortez last time is she realized in herself that she could go 5. So you started to see Tracy come alive in round 4 and 5 last fight. But she gave away those first 3. This is a 3-round fight. Vivi Araujo can get on that bike and really try to keep that pace up for 3 rounds and maybe scrape. All you got to do is win 2 rounds here if you go to a decision. So she could potentially scrape out that decision here. But if it's a more aggressive Tracy Cortez, listen, I like Tracy and I don't see why she doesn't get it done. But I just think Vivi Araujo is going to be moving too much for her. So I think I'm going to go with Vivi Araujo.
Whoa, okay,
Yeah.
okay. Well,
Yeah.
all right.
And then we move on.
You want to put a bet on that?
Just because we ain't lost wages, huh? You trying to take my wages, Henry?
Just think about it. Talk is cheap.
Well, all right, let me think about it. All right. Moving on to the next, this fight that I really want to highlight is the featured prelim, as John Anik would say, is RoboCop taking on Jack Hermansson. I mean, with both of us, when you see this fight, you're like, oh, that deserves to be on the main card. But it's the featured prelim, which, you know, the UFC is strategic with how they place these fights because this is what's going to get you. It's like an appetizer. This is what's going to kind of get you warmed up and get you all warmed up for the main course. Pause, Henry. Keep your mind focused on where we at. All right.
All right.
But this is what I mean. RoboCop versus Jack Hermansson. This is a fantastic fight because Jack Hermansson is one of those guys that knows how to fight for a duration of the fight. He knows how to drag you down in deep waters and eventually scrape out a win. And RoboCop is looking to rebound from that last fight. I mean, that was a big fight that they put him in, a big fight situation to kind of propel himself in that top 15. But unfortunately, he wasn't able to get it done. So, I mean, Henry, what do you think here?
Yeah, no, I like it, dude. But I think RoboCop cuts too much weight. I think the size that he brings to the table is just, he's too big. I mean, he looks super sluggish against Cannonier. He looked like a warrior in the first half a round. And after that, it was all Jared Cannonier. Jared Cannonier was able to really give everybody the game plan to beat a guy like RoboCop. You weather the storm, you make this guy work, and slowly but surely, his gas tank will run out. And I feel like with Jack Hermansson, he's a gamer, bro. He goes, he's a gamer, bro. Jack Hermansson goes for leg locks. The way he was able to catch Calvin Gastelum, he goes for certain things, and he's beating big guys before too.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he's got a win over Piper, dude. And Piper's just as big as RoboCop.
But listen, not even just Piper, Jacare. Look at him, Jacare Souza. He beat Jacare. Yeah. That was when Jacare was Jacare.
He beat Curtis.
Yeah. No, he's got some very, very quality wins.
Yeah, I got my money. I got my money on Jack Hermansson. Even though I think Jack Hermansson is just a lot wittier. He's way more experienced, and I believe that the weight cut and what happened in the last fight with Gregory Rodriguez, he's gonna have to learn from that. I'm not too sure if he's really stuck to that diet. I don't think that's his weight class. I think he should be light heavyweight.
Well, you think Jack Hermansson's a lot what?
I think he's a lot. I think he's just not as heavy. I don't think he cuts as much weight as RoboCop.
Yeah, but you said something.
What did I say?
I thought I learned a new word today. You said winnier?
Whittier?
Winnier.
Winnier?
I love it. I learned a new word today. Henry, I do agree. I think in a sense, I think RoboCop went maybe a little too hard in that last fight. I think it being I think it's potentially first 5-round fight. But this round's not a 5-round fight. This is a 3-round fight. And yeah, you said the game plan is to weather the storm. What a storm you got to weather. That's a big damn storm you got to weather. So I really like Jack Hermanson. I like his ability to fight a whole fight and put it together. But I'm looking at Gregory Rodriguez to go ahead and get back in the win column here. So I'm going to go with Gregory Rodriguez. But Henry, let's get into what we came for, the meat and the potatoes of the card. And this is our main card. First one starting off with your boy, right? Payton Talbott. Payton Talbott taking on Felipe Lima. Talk about this, Henry.
Yeah, no. I tell you what, man. People are very high on Lima. You know, he's only lost his debut. He's been on a 14-fight win streak since losing. I mean, I'm really surprised the UFC is actually putting this matchup together. You know, Payton Talbott at one point was the hottest prospect at 135 pounds because he's just different. He's got the hair, the whole circle. He's finishing people. But then his last fight, it just took a turn. It took a turn for the worse, and he ended up, getting pretty much dominated by Barcelos. And, I think a lot of people are seeing that a little bit different. It was a lot of what happened to RoboCop, somewhat happened to Talbot. But I just feel like, man, people are really sleeping on Payton. Maybe you just didn't have that. Maybe you just didn't have that night. And because you think about it, he's always been a big.
People are sleeping on him.
People are sleeping on him now.
And he was the hottest prospect at one point.
Yes, the only reason why I say that, Kamaru,
Yeah.
is because he is the underdog with Felipe. I mean, Felipe right now is he's a favorite in this fight, and that's something to be said, man. How do you go from being the biggest prospect and now they're giving you a matchup where you're not the favorite? So I feel like people really are sleeping on him.
I'm gonna say the reason that happens is because they just watch you as a very highly touted prospect. They just watch you kind of get dominated by a guy that just is not afraid of you, and a guy that's going to take you down and can hold you down. And now you're coming in against a guy that's on a 14-fight win streak. I'm pretty sure the odds makers know that there's something that they're seeing in this guy who hasn't lost in years since his first professional fight. On the 14-fight win streak, there's something that he does that resembles what Payton Talbott just went through. And that's probably why they're putting him as a favorite. I do think Payton Talbott is extremely talented. I think he's got a lot of skill. But one thing I think you and I even said, even after that last fight, him losing, is that he's going to learn a lot from this. And that's what we need to see. We need to see if he can stop himself from being taken down by headhunting. Because it looked like, of course, when you're highly touted like that and they're putting you on these big cards, you want to deliver. You want that knockout that you've been getting. You want to make it flashy and nice and fancy. And you kind of throw caution to the wind. And that's why you end up getting taken down and dominated the way that he did. So if he's able to reel that in and fight a calculated fight, I think he's an extremely dangerous guy. But, I mean, you're going up against a guy who hasn't lost in years, 14-fight win streak. I like Payton Talbott. I think even though he was dominated by a veteran like Barcelos last time, he was still looking to try to finish that fight. So hopefully he learned his lesson and he's going to be a little bit more calculated. So I'm going to go with Payton Talbott here. Yeah,
well, that makes two. I will say something about Felipe is he was a featherweight and he's coming down to bantamweight. So that's something to consider too. But he's 5'6", bro. He's pretty short. So maybe it was just a diet issue, and maybe he could find himself in a weight class where he could really suit it a little bit better.
Yeah.
Or it could bite him in the ass. But either way, I'm going with you. I got Payton Talbott.
All right, moving on to our next fight. A fight that a lot of people kind of wanted to see for a while. Beneil Dariush taking on Renato Moicano. Show me the money, brother. Show me the money.
Yeah, God. When I think of this fight, I just think of how I just don't see Moicano with the wrestling defense. You know, he's kind of stubborn with the striking. And I just feel like, and I like Moicano. I like Money Moicano. You talking with me? You mad? You fucking with me? You fucking with my friends?
I don't think that's how he sounds.
Okay, well, whatever it was. But either way, I like Moicano. I want to cheer for Moicano, but if I really do have to put my money, I just feel like Dariush is too experienced and his top game is ridiculous. When you beat a guy like Gamrot and you're able to beat these dudes that you can out-wrestle these guys, like Beneil just brings that style that Moicano is just, he just doesn't have it. If you saw his fight with Islam, he got controlled up top and then submitted. And it was like a sparring session for Islam. Yeah, it was a title shot that was came out of nowhere. It was really like a sweepstake thing, but still, bro, you should at least be able to hang a little bit longer before being submitted. I just feel like Dariush is just too much up top.
You're right, Henry. I don't think I disagree with the fact that Moicano is too stingy on top with the stand up because he doesn't care at some point. He's at the point now where he's showing me the money, brother. Anything for me to win the fight. You know, you saw him go over there in Paris and just straight put it on Saint Denis. Took him down and just elbowed his face to Kingdom Come. You know, I think Moicano's willing to do whatever it takes to win the fight. His wrestling is not bad. Training over there at American Top Team with Steve Mako and King Mo and all these guys, I think his wrestling is not bad. Especially with the way he was getting those takedowns, controlling Saint Denis. He's not bad. If we look at Beneil Dariush's last few fights, you know, it looks like, I don't know if Beneil's at the tail end of the career or, you know, he might necessarily not necessarily want to do it anymore, but
it's his last fight, I believe. I think this is his last fight.
Yeah, I mean, you're coming off of. I think I've been hearing things like that for a little while. I mean, Beneil is an amazing guy. One of the real quality guys that we've met in this sport.
Solid.
And is doing other things. I believe he has his own gym and he's has kids now. Like, yeah, we're fighters. We're not here to fight forever. But you suffered back-to-back losses and pretty significant losses. They weren't significant KOs. They weren't like little KOs. They were pretty significant ones. And so I think just to rebound from that, I do know how good he is as far as being able to wrestle and his grappling ability. This one is a toss-up for me. But if this is his last fight, Henry, I do think he's going to leave it all out there, and I could see Beneil pulling this one out.
Okay, all righty. All right.
Next one. This is one of my fights. I think potentially fight of the night right here. You've got my dog from H-Town, Joshua Van, taking on Brandon Royval.
Yeah, I like Josh Van, but I feel like this is a step up. Royval has beat Brandon Moreno his last fight. Royval has beat who else did he beat? Yeah, he beat Tatsuro Taira. His last two fights. Brandon Royval is he's the biggest threat to Pantoja. He's the biggest threat to Pantoja, and he's only gotten better, dude. Those two wins the high level of fighters that he's beat already says a lot. And I feel like, Joshua Van he's got power, but his style's it's dangerous, but it's predictable. It's predictable. So for that reason, I like Joshua Van. I like, and he did do my boy, Bruno Silva. He did, but if Joshua Van does win, he will get that next title shot. I just don't think right now, because he's a young buck. I just feel like Royval's distance and the fact that he brings in more tools, he brings in the striking, he could surprise him with the wrestling. And the biggest thing to me is his submission threat. And he's a big 25er. He's a pretty tall 25er, by the way.
I agree with you. I think a lot of people don't realize how difficult Brandon Royval is to deal with in there. I mean, a guy that's constantly moving. You feel like he's away. He reminds me of just like just a faster, a smaller version of Corey Sandhagen, and it moves even more. And so I getting to kind of see him spar a little bit and watch him out there in Denver. Brendan Royval is a problem. But when you're dealing with a guy like Joshua Van, when you're riding the confidence that he's riding right now, listen, you got to strike while the iron's hot, Henry. And right now, he knows Joshua Van. He's in that thing. He knows what's. Hey, the iron's hot right now. I got to strike. So that's why he's jumping into this fight. He wants to propel himself into title contention. I don't think he gets a title shot after this win because you still got guys like Manel Kopp waiting, and you still got there's a couple guys there, but I think he propels himself into that top 5 immediately with this, and I think one more win, quality win, I think he puts himself on that short list. But also I think if he does win, it's in the fashion that he wins. If he goes out there and he puts Brendan Royval away, I mean, jeez, you got to start considering him for a potential title shot next.
Yeah, no, he would definitely get it. I think just a victory, period, would give Josh
over
Van.
Manel Kopp?
Yeah, because Manel Kopp's, he's been getting hurt too damn much. I mean, why wouldn't you give it to, all right, I'm going to tell you something. Why wouldn't you give the title shot to Shavkat? These dudes, they get hurt. Like, the UFC can't rely on people that get hurt a lot. You know what I'm saying? And I just feel like it is what it is. I mean, Manel Kopp's going to have to, he's going to have to earn his way up to the title, dude. Like, if he can't.
Well, then I think that's it, right? That's just it. If he does win, I think they might do an eliminator, him and Manel Kopp.
Yep.
And I think that is a banging fight. But who you got? Where you leaning towards? You going with Brendan Royval, I guess?
Yeah, I got to go with Royval. I got to go. Even though I would love to see Josh Van win, I got to go with Royval because of experience and who he's beat. And sometimes I go back and think of that fight with Josh Van against Charles Johnston. He never really adapted, bro. Boom, he was getting beat up. It's like, oh, screw it. Let me get back into the flurry of fire.
Yeah, but we can say his takedown defense has gotten better because everyone just tries to take him down at this point because they can't deal with
Charles
his
beat him up
pressure.
on his feet, bro.
Yeah, Charles is very dynamic. You know, Charles could mix it up well, and Charles did a phenomenal job with that. But from what Joshua Van has done since then, I mean, the way he's been putting guys away, the way he's got guys running, you know, guys don't even want to be in a fight with him. I mean, there's a lot to say about, you know, that work that he's putting in. And obviously, you know, he's stepping into this fight for Manel Kopp, who, like you said, Henry, like you pointed out, got hurt and couldn't make this fight. So, you know what? You might be right. You might be onto something. If he does get this victory, I think he might be next for that next title shot.
Flyweight's right open. I mean, Pantoja's fought Moreno 3 times or 4 times.
Right.
He's fought Brandon Royval 2 times. He's fought Kai Kara France. I think this is going to be his second or maybe even 3rd time fighting Kai Kara France. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. So the flyweight division's open. If Josh Van could get the job done, he's next.
All right.
There's no ifs, what's about it.
Well, I do think I know how difficult a guy like Brendan Royval is to fight. My heart is probably going to be with Joshua Van on this one. You know that, Texas Connect. You know, H-Town, dog. You know, I don't even know what I'm throwing out, but H-Town, you know, we in this thing. But
is it right here? Is that
my
it?
logic is gonna have to go with I know Brendan Royval is a handful, so I'm gonna go with Brendan Royval.
All righty.
Yeah. Now moving on to the co-main event of the evening, Henry, I'm gonna let you just take on to this one.
Yeah, for sure. Do we have Alexander Pantoja versus Kai Kara France? I was there when the first time that they on the Ultimate Fighter. I was the Tough 24 coach, and both of these guys were on my team, and I was able to see these guys scrap it out. They fought in the second round. I mean, the Ultimate Fighter is absolutely ridiculous, man. It's particularly the flyweight division.
Right.
How many people have been able to become champions out of that season? Myself, Pantoja, Moreno. Now, if Kai Kara France could get it done, I mean, you're talking about 4 alumni from that show. But does Kai Kara France really have it? I mean, stylistically, Pantoja's been on a tear, man. His wins over Royval, Moreno, Steve Erceg, that was a freaking fight, one of the best fights in flyweight history, in my opinion. You know, him beating Asukara, the Japanese, his last fight by submitting him, like teaching him like the way of just experience, man. And I just feel like Kai Kara France, he's only beat Steve Erceg, and then other than that, he hasn't really been that active, man. You know, he hasn't really been that active, dude. Like he's only fought. That's his only win in the last, 3 years. But it was an impressive win. It was a great overhand. But other than that, man, it's all been, it's all been Pantoja.
Right.
Pantoja has been super active. He has really resurrected the flyweight division, and I feel like Pantoja is just too much for KKF. You know, I just feel like it's just he's. I didn't say KFC. I said KKF.
Whoa. Why did KFC come in there? Huh?
I did, my bad, dude. I'm about to get canceled.
You just think I like chicken? Is that why? I mean, I do like chicken.
I thought that's why you're laughing, dude. But
I do like chicken, but no. You're onto something, Henry. I think Chandra Pantoja has definitely separated himself from the rest of the pack. Of course, I think Brandon Moreno is really the only guy that's still kind of potentially on his heels. But, yeah, you did point out Kai Kara France has one victory in the last couple of years.
Few years.
And it was a beautiful overhand for sure. But Alexander Pantoja is just a guy that's a complete fighter. Complete with everything. He's grappling. With the way that he strikes now, he's polishing, because before, early on, he was kind of just coming crazy with the striking. Yeah. But he's polished. He's really cleaned up a lot of things. So this one's an easy one for me. I think, listen, don't get me wrong. Kai Kara France, KKF, has definitely the power in his hands to potentially turn any fight around. But I do think Pantoja gets this one done.
Yeah. But with the victory for Pantoja, he does put, Kai Kara France out. He's got to move up. I know he recently did an interview about him not going up. He's lapped in the division. He was Kamaru
size-wise, you think he could do it? Size-wise, he's not the biggest guy.
He could surprise. I know Pantoja very, very well.
He can surprise who? Merab?
He could surprise Merab with
what?
With his back take, man. With takedowns too, man. Pantoja is super underrated.
Are you saying right
here,
right now that Pantoja can beat Merab?
Pantoja, but you can't say he doesn't have a shot.
I just feel like anybody got a shot. The drunk man down the street got a shot.
Yeah, I just feel like Pantoja has to give himself that opportunity to go up because he's lapping that division, and we got to see if he can make history, man. Being a 2-division champ is. Right. I mean, there's only been 9 in UFC history, but there's only been 3 simultaneous double champs in UFC history. So really? could he be a part of? You already know. But let me remind you real quick.
Go ahead, remind me.
But what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying? Like he's in that position, so he has to open up that mouthpiece a little bit more in order for him to really get that opportunity, because. Hitting up that double champ status is crazy. And the same thing goes for Merab. Like, Merab has to go to the point and really take those chances about going up to 145 pounds. Why not? Like, why are these guys hesitant about just staying in their division? Like, go out and try to conquer history.
I don't know if it's hesitating. I just think it's, if you found your groove in the division, you found your groove with how you diet, how you weight cut, how you get prepared, that you want to stay there. As opposed to, if I want to move up, okay, now I got to kind of worry about letting my body stay bigger and growing and carrying on much more weight. And it's a difficult process, but I do agree with you. There's not much left for him in the division after a fight like this. I think you've got Manel Kopp, and then after that, it's what's next. And so I do agree. Yeah, try to test yourself by moving up. But listen, there's a whole nother monster waiting up there. So, but in this fight, I'm gonna go with Pantoja. And moving on to our main event of the evening, Henry, Charles Do Bronx Oliveira taking on El Matador, Ilia Topuria.
Yeah, I like it, bro. I mean,
let's add a little music, the little
dude,
Zorro music.
dude, I like this.
Matador.
I like Charles, but sometimes I just gotta question his IQ. He's a
Charles?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah. Or not even necessarily. Yeah, I guess you could say IQ or his tactical fighting.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? He's a long guy with longer limbs. He's a taller fighter, but yet he's going to be here. He's going to be in that range with a guy like Ilia Topuria who lives there. And you saw what he did to Jai Herbert. The same size as Charles Oliveira. He was able to put him out. He's unpredictable with his sequences of going high-low is very tricky, and he has that groove where he has the right. He's able to generate that right power for a guy that's 5'7". Right. The person that really needs to make that adjustment in that fight, it is Charles Oliveira. Could Charles Oliveira bring it to the clinch, use those clinches, or could he surprise him with those double leg takedowns? Charles Oliveira's takedowns are really good. He has to get this fight to the ground, because if he doesn't get this fight to the ground, it is going to be maybe an early night for him, because as you know, Charles Oliveira is going to put it, Ilia Topuria is going to keep it on his feet, and then just look for that body shot, come up top, look for that body shot. I mean, right now, Ilia Topuria's got the best hands right now in mixed martial arts, and what's backed up with that striking is power, and that's dangerous.
No, I definitely, I've said it time and time again. I think Ilia Topuria right now is one of the most balanced fighter that we've seen right now, modern day. Extremely good hands, just all around very, very good mixed martial artist. But the one thing that I really love about him is he's a professional. And that's something that I really strive to do in the sport, is be as professional as possible with every aspect of it. When you get there, how I conduct myself, how you eat, how you train, how you prepare, how you cool down, how all of these different things is what I truly love about Ilia Topuria. And of course, you are a fighter and you're building a brand, and how you look, how you dress, all of these things, because as we know, if you look good, you feel good, you fight good, all of these things play a factor. And Ilia Topuria right now is at the top of the game in how he handles everything. And obviously there was a video of them kind of running into each other this week. I think for some guys, they don't like being that friendly with their opponents. But Ilia Topuria is just one of those guys that just kind of has that silent confidence, like, yeah, friend, we can be friends, but
I'm gonna hurt you.
Yeah,
I'm gonna kill you.
after I knock your head off,
yeah,
I take you to the hospital myself. I drive you there.
Jesus.
And that's something that he would say, So
wow.
So I think you're right. When I'm looking at this fight and how Charles could potentially get this done, I just think Ilia Topuria is so solid everywhere. And if Charles does close that gap to get into that clinch, you're right into the wheelhouse of Ilia's body attacks. And I've watched him at practice put guys down with body shots. Put guys down. So I just think Charles is going to have to really try to snipe him from the outside, like he did with Michael Chandler, and potentially hope that Ilia makes a mistake, drops his hand somewhere, and you're able to kind of hurt him and jump on and finish with the submission or something. But besides that, I see Ilia Topuria stepping in and becoming the next, 2-division champion.
Damn, that's right. Wow. Yeah, it's becoming a lot more common. So what do you think adjustments that Charles Oliveira needs to do to be crowned NU?
I think it's the footwork, because Charles has been really, really great with stepping on guys. He just marches forwards towards them and says, I'm going to throw, and you're going to throw 2, but you need to try to create separation here. So you're going to try to get out, and in the process of you getting out, I'm either going to catch you with something, or I'm already in the wheelhouse where I'm going to hold on to you. If you do catch me, hold on to you, and we're going to be grappling. So I think he's going to have to use better footwork, because you can't do that to Ilia Topuria. Ilia Topuria is the guy that's willing to come out there first 10 seconds and go, hey, you want to meet in the center and let's throw hands? You know, so I would say he's got to move his feet, stay on the outside, and drag the fight on and let the experience start to show. Let's see if Ilia Topuria makes mistakes. So that's what I would say. But if I had to go with someone, I'm going to go with Ilia Topuria.
Yeah, there you have it. Well, I think we, God, if Charles does get it done, I mean, it really spices. I mean,
he has all the records.
One.
He has all the records in lightweight division, and he has all the dang near most of the records in the UFC. He has the most finishes. He has most bonuses. Charles Oliveira is a wealthy man.
Yeah, he's a first ballot Hall of Famer, bro. Like, it just lets you know, dude, how good Islam is, bro. Like, at what level there is levels to the level, dude. And I feel like the 155-pound weight division is wide open. I mean, what would be next for a guy like Ilia Topuria? You know what it is? This is where Justin Gaethje is going to have to really come to the table and potentially challenge Paddy Pimblett, because the UFC, they want to push Paddy Pimblett into this title shot, particularly because drama sells. You know, the whole thing, the whole altercation that they had at the hotel between Illia and Paddy Pimblett, dude, that's a big mega sell there. I feel like what I'm trying to say is,
UK.
I know Justin Gaethje has been talking about, if he doesn't get the next title shot, that he could potentially retire. Don't do that, Justin. Don't fight with the UFC. Do not do it. They will dry you out, bro. Like, you need to take the opportunity and fight Paddy Pimblett. The winner gets the next title shot, and that's just plain and simple. Because if Justin Gaethje does not fight a guy like Paddy Pimblett, they're gonna skip him. Would I want Justin Gaethje to get it because he's a homie? 100%. But this is strictly business, and the business will move on, bro. So, I know Justin's probably out there golfing somewhere right now, but if he can hear me out, you gotta take that chance. You gotta take that chance. Fight Paddy Pimblett. Accept that fight, because the next fight that Paddy Pimblett has, and he wins, he's fighting for that title. Am I wrong? Am I wrong?
You're not necessarily wrong. I do think definitely it's something that there has to be a conversation, so everyone's on the same page here. But
but you see what I'm saying, right?
Yeah,
straight up, come on. Let's put the friendship aside.
You're absolutely right. The foundation has been created for a guy like Paddy to step in, and so it might be up for grabs. Even though I do think Justin Gaethje deserves it, but I think right now it might be up for grabs. So we'll see, and of course we'll see how quick of a turnaround the champion wants to have. So that plays a big factor. So, I mean, it is what it is. Hopefully we get Justin here and we can actually have a conversation with him and let him kind of give us his 2 cents on the whole situation. But, Henry, I'm excited. UFC 317 International Fight Week going down here from Las Vegas, Nevada. Brought to you, of course, by our friends at Lucy. Henry, I think that's it, man. That's it, man. I am always the Nigerian Nightmare, Kamaru Usman.
Henry Cejudo, a.k.a. Triple C.
We are out.